Traxxas X-Maxx 8S. This is a big boy. Now, I've heard that this thing's a good basher. And as you can see behind me, I've got the space for bashers. For the last few years, I've been playing with the Traxxas Kraton. For the last few years, I've been playing with the Armour Kraton 6S, the Centon 3S BLX, a bunch of the smaller stuff. We've had Stampedes for years, but it was only recently that I decided to grab the latest version of the 8S X-Maxx. Now, before I even ran it, I've made a few changes. Just so you know what I'm showing you today, this isn't a review so much as a list of what I've been doing, what's involved with it, and if you haven't got one, or if you have got one, what I've found has been useful for bashing hard, because this has been driven already. But this is now the 4th run, and I must say, it's growing on me. I lined the inside with a mixture of shoe glue and duct tape. I should probably consider some gyprock tape, or what you call drywall tape, I suppose. I got that one from Talbot, but I haven't tried it yet. But I've been using Gorilla, just the Gorilla brand masking tape for years on bodies, with silicone around all the weak spots, and I found it to be pretty good. This thing's already had a bunch of big impacts. And you might be able to see some of the decent dents. It also pops out easily in places now. I haven't actually got silicone on that section there actually, so that could be a thing. And I also found I have a small hole here. So that's to be expected when you're bashing. Now this fella also has a few other changes. Aside from the GPS module, which I've pulled out of my 2021 Bronco, it was equally useless in here. This already comes with a bunch of sensors, so you already know the speed based on wheel speed. And incidentally, with standard gearing at an 8S, when the wheels are in the air, when you pin it, 90 kilometers an hour, it gets up to 65 or so on the ground. We might try for a top speed before we do much else, just while the battery's full. Okay, we're at full. $59k an hour that was, so this is stock gearing 8S. Yeah, 59. I've also cut the connectors and changed them to XT90s. We've got RPM rear, top and bottom arms, and RPM carriers and bigger bearings for the rear. Haven't touched the front yet, and they're undamaged. Now I've run this, I think I've run 3 battery packs through it so far, including letting my old man have a go when he was here. And one of the shocks is already leaking. I think that's the only issue I've had with it. I've also put in the split shaft with a bearing set in the middle, so when this takes a big crunch in the middle, it doesn't bend the shaft. And I thought, since this finally arrived, we'd stick this split drive shaft in the middle so we don't get that bent thing from bad landings. I also have stock gearing. We haven't gone to the speed gearing or anything like that. This is actually sufficient, I think, for bashing. Now, when I first got this, the very first high-speed run I did, it broke a tooth on the spur gear. Local distributor replaced it under warranty. Stay out with the X-Maxx just to give it a test, and we busted a spur gear, so we have a replacement for that. I've removed the wheelie bar. I've got the hinge pins on the top and the bottom that they clamp from each end. You can get them from RPM. Links to all this stuff in the description of what I've done to mine, just to minimize breakage, to minimize it bending and popping off the end of the pins. I haven't done the front end yet. I figure I'll wait until it needs it before I do it. Now, one trick I've found is that to turn, hitting the brakes gives you a very quick turn. Even just coming off the throttle can really help you turn. Now, it's functioning as intended, but this is not my favorite backyard basher, not by a long way. Oh dear. Having driven it a bunch so far, I gotta say, I like my Kraton 6S considerably more for this kind of environment. It's wider, it's got a much lower center of gravity, it's stable, and it jumps higher and it goes straighter. This I have found frustrating, but I don't know that it's necessarily meant to be just a backyard basher like this. Oh yeah, we've got AVC on this thing too, from memory. I had it down on 0. I wonder if that makes this any better. Oh, it does. Yeah, look at that. So AVC works pretty well. I had it on 0. It does feel like it increases its turning radius though. Really what this thing wants, really, is the skate park. This is not a satisfying track machine, but that's okay. I'm still actually having fun, which is the correct answer. Right, let me just turn AVC right off again. I think I like to feel better with it completely off. I like counter steering myself on this. Yeah. We are going to take this to the skate park soon, possibly even this week, depending on rain and kids. But today I'm going to show you what this thing's like in the backyard. Let's get some batteries into it. The X-Maxx can run on 6S and 8S. We are going to be using these Z-Power 7 amp, they're 4S each, so we're going to be running on 8S. Okay, batteries are in. She's actually quite heavy now. Hold down the button briefly, it's on. One thing I wish Traxxas did do on this telemetry unit was actually distance. It's conspicuously missing an odometer. It's got speed, so surely it wouldn't be hard to program in. Traxxas, if you're watching, please, pretty please, give us an odometer, because that would turn this from a gimmick to something so much more useful. You could even then know how far you've walked with the crawlers for, you know, if you're going for a nice walk or something. I would really appreciate that. Anyway, the car is on. Okay, so it's got a satellite fix already. Top speed's been reset to 0. Temperature at least is useful. I really would like an odometer though. Anyway, right. It took a chunk out of the ground, didn't it? It's a ridiculous vehicle. I actually like having it geared low like this because... Whoa, sorry X-Maxx. Okay, let's see if the self-riding works. It probably won't. There we go. I'm doing it manually. Yeah, it didn't like it automatically. Doing it manually, I mean, it can't be good for the gears. But I've got the wheelie bar off, and I think it relies on that to work. I accelerated, but it wasn't enough. I hit the brakes at the end to get it on its wheels at least. Now again guys, I know this is obviously not for the track. I'm a firm believer in driving for fun, always have been. I love the technical stuff, I love performance, but fun first. It's already got some squeaks. That'll be from dust, not water. Hasn't gotten wet yet. What a ridiculous car. Yeah, those bearings aren't happy. You know, you can actually take bearings apart and service them. You can pop the dust cover off it, clean it out, and then re-grease it. I might have to have a look at it later and see what's making the squeaking. Well, thanks for joining me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Throw me a like and I'll catch you again real soon right here on RC-TNT. Cheers. What a ridiculous car.